All right. Alrighty. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's mom that my maternity leave is not supposed to be a vacation? Oh, that my maternity leave. I thought it just said maternity leave when I scanned it the first time. I'm 37 weeks pregnant now, and my boyfriend took 3 weeks off work to stay with me so that we can adjust to being parents to a newborn. This is my first, and I'm very nervous and really need the support right now. My boyfriend's mother took it upon herself to schedule a paternity vacation for my boyfriend for the last 2 weeks of his leave. She came over for dinner and surprised him with it. It's an all expense paid vacation to Italy for my boyfriend as his paternity present. She gave me a jade stoned bracelet and a matching newborn one for the baby, as it's part of their culture to give the family stone to the mother and child only once they enter the family. This was very kind of her. However, I told her that his leave was for helping with the baby. She was taken aback and said that he would be with me for a week, and that was long enough. Her husband never even stayed at the hospital with her when her son was born. I told her and my boyfriend that I didn't want him to go and that she should have asked before buying such an extraordinary gift. She left in tears because I was ungrateful in ruining her son's experience. My boyfriend pretty much agrees that he should go for at least a week because she paid for it, but I really wanted him to stay with me and bond with their daughter. So he took 3 weeks off for once you've given birth, because you've not given birth yet, based on this post. Yeah, not the asshole. It's very inconsiderate. What an asinine idea. A vacation away from his 1-week-old baby. She didn't think he should be in the room when I delivered either. She said it will make him see me in a different way and he needs to remember me the way I was before. She thinks it's gross to other people other than medical professionals to witness a birth. Yikes. The fact that your boyfriend didn't immediately turn it down is unsettling. Yeah. Yeah, the whole point of him taking time off work was to be there for you. It's unimaginable to me that his mother could have thought it was a good idea to just take him to Europe. Also, in general, who in the world just buys someone to take it to another country for a long period of time in any situation? She isn't even going with him. It's just for him, as it's his dream vacation. His dream vacation is missing the first 2 weeks of his daughter's life. Does he realize that he will never ever be brand new again, right? That she will never ever be brand new again. In 2 weeks' time, she's going to be so different, he'll miss a lot of first moments. Yep. Why is that not surprising? I think that's really weird. Oh, is she Chinese by chance? My Chinese grandmother did the same thing for my dad when I was born. And oh my god, my mom was pissed. My dad was active military overseas and only had a limited time off to come home for the birth. Grandma sent my dad and the guys and the family to Vegas for a few days. I'm 34 now, currently pregnant with my first, and my mom still brings it up. OP said yes, they are Chinese. That's kind of funny that that person was able to guess. Yeah, I would be seriously pissed if my boyfriend used his paternity leave to go to Italy. I wonder how he scheduled the time off with his workplace, because if he took it off as a paternity leave and he went to Italy, then his workplace probably won't be very happy about that. So I hope he just took 3 weeks off as like a casual leave, but I can't think of many works that would just give you 3 weeks off, you know? Based on mother-in-law wanted to take the boyfriend away right after the baby is born, not surprised she doesn't think being there for the moment of birth is important. Yeah. It's really weird to just leave a new mom at home by herself with the baby. That doesn't seem to make much sense to me. But no, I'm not the asshole. Just a very, very weird situation. That's interesting. Interesting, this one's labeled not the asshole. Alrighty. Although this is only a day old, so I guess that can technically change. Am I the asshole for refusing to be a stepmom to my husband's kid? I know this sounds terrible, but hear me out. I've been newly married for around 6 months, and my husband has a 15-year-old son, Jason. My husband is only 32, so we had him early. Have I read this one before? No, this just sounds really familiar. um, My husband's only 32, so he had him early. It has just been the two of them until I came into the picture 2 years ago. His kid never liked me, which I get. I made the duo a trio, and he misses just his dad. That said, my husband really wants to do the whole family thing that his kid didn't get growing up. He has a lot of guilt about his mom, who hasn't been in the pictures since his birth, and wants him to have a stable relationship to look up to like his parents. Now, Jason and I aren't openly hostile, but it's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable enough that I decided to sit him down and ask him what he wants from me. Immediate answer, you're not my mom, you're not my parent, don't act like it. And I said, okay. That took him by surprise, and I asked if by any chance I could at least be his friend. At the time, he said he wasn't sure, and I told him that was fine, and to just tell me when he's ready, what he wants from our relationship. But until then, I won't try to parent him. That little talk did wonders. He avoids me less, talks to me more, which actually initiated a conversation with me the other day, and I almost cried. Oh, he actually did. And will even watch movies with me. I'm watching a movie already, and he will sit next to me, and I'll restart it. Not much talk, but presence. My husband noticed and was initially happy until he asked Jason what changed, and he didn't like the answer. He confronted me about it and said I should have talked to him about the relationship I was trying to have, and that me being a friend is inappropriate, and I need to be a parent. That's what I signed up for. It's put him in a bad position of not being able to use my input for future child care choices, and I'm sabotaging being a mom. He can still ask you for parenting choices. You've just committed to not disciplining the child yourself because he's not your kid. And he doesn't want you to be his mom. So why the fuck would you be his mom if he doesn't want that? And here's where the am I the asshole is. I said, I'm never going to be his mom. He doesn't want me to, so I'll do whatever I can to at least make him not hate being around me. That made him cry, and he said it felt like I already gave up before I tried. Jason was not present for this fight, by the way, and my husband isn't a yeller. Think emotional convo, but not mean. That kid is his life, and I know he just wants the best, but I think this is the best. But I may have overstepped here by going over his head and straight to Jason. No, your husband wants you to have a relationship with his son, and you have one now, and you didn't have one before. So what the fuck is his issue? You have a relationship with his kid now. It just may not be a motherly one. But if he wants some fun trio situation going on, this is the best we're going to get right now. You did the right way. Husband needs to back off. However your relationship work. Yeah. The kid is 15 and doesn't need a full-on parent. He just needs to understand what a healthy relationship is. Exactly. He's 15. He'll move out and go to college soon. He doesn't need a full-on new mother figure this late in his life, especially if he doesn't want one. Not the asshole at this point. I'd say you're on the right track with Jason. He seems to be warming up to you, and it's not forced, which is what you want. At 15, forcing a step-parent onto him probably isn't going to go well. He'll just resist and go back to avoiding you and not speaking. It takes time to build a relationship like that and get him to trust you, and I think you're doing just fine, especially with teenagers, because teenagers want to rebel and get away from their parents anyways. So forcing a new parent onto them at that age, I can't imagine how weird that must feel. Sounds like the beginning of a healthy relationship between OP and the kid. Not sure why dad is weird about it. If the kid is older than 14, it's not really appropriate for the step parent to parent the kid. Yeah, at that point, the kid is basically an adult at this point, or they need to be at least starting to act like one at this point. At 15 years old, you're kind of starting to do stuff by yourself now. He'll be getting his driver's license soon, and stuff like that. So I agree. It's not like he needs another parent all of a sudden. By allowing Jason to set boundaries and coming to you, you're opening up a relationship that was closed in the beginning. Over time, he may come to trust you and respect your input as you have respected him and his boundaries. It may not be the role your husband envisioned, but it's a step in the right direction to open communication, and maybe one day it'll reach that motherly role your husband envisions. Your husband needs to readjust his vision and see the positives of building a relationship over forcing one. P.S. Maybe you should have talked to your spouse first, but you also didn't know how the conversation was going to go with Jason, and your husband was pushing for a motherly role. What is more motherly than listening to a child and putting their needs over your own wants? Yep. If you can befriend a 15-year-old in your household, you're doing great. Teenagers are tough, and that's when they're becoming their own people and start resenting their parents for parenting. Kudos for getting a teenager to like and respect you. I'm not sure it's correct to say you don't want to be Jason's stepmom. I think you want to be a stepmom to Jason in the way that is best for him and will build the best relationship. You need your husband to support your relationship with Jason, not try to control it. Jason is becoming a man. Your husband should love and respect him for that. Yeah. My mom started dating again. I didn't want a new father figure. He just kept his distance, not forcing me, but when I watched TV, he sat with me, he listened to me, and made notes of my hobbies, what I like to eat, my friends. He became a person to trust in my life, and now I'm very proud to call him my stepdad. Yeah. I feel like if the kid's really young, you can kind of force that parenting feel, because they're so young that they've not really lived a life without that parent figure yet. But at 15... That's a long time. Completely right, doing an amazing job as a step-parent. You're being respectful of his needs, appropriate, open, available. I can't praise your response enough, but I don't have the heart to call your husband the asshole because I think he's misunderstood. He thinks his wife and his baby have mutually agreed to not have a close bond. He doesn't understand that you are earning a close bond, which is much more difficult than and ultimately a much more loving thing to do. Try to help him understand that when Jason is a grown man in 3 short years, you want him to think of you as OP, who is an important part of my life, whose advice I value because she cares for me and respects my needs. Not OP who thinks funking my dad makes her the boss of me. Yeah. He's 15. Forcing anything on him would be disastrous. Yeah. 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 15-year-olds are the worst, man. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this one doesn't have a label yet. So we're getting an unfiltered view. It's only a 9-hour-old post and it's already got 8.5K upvotes. Jesus Christ. Am I the asshole for saying it's babysitting even if the baby is biologically mine? Based on this first paragraph, no. I, 22 female, donated my eggs 3 years ago to my friends V and M, 30 and 32, since they wanted to have a baby. I wasn't the surrogate, just the egg donor. So it's not your baby. When a guy donates his sperm at a sperm bank, it's not his baby anymore when that sperm is used to fertilize eggs. That's not how that works. Huh? Back then, I used to say how I'll be the coolest grandmother aunt to the baby, and we'll be a big, happy family, etc. Fast forward to when the baby was born, I only found out through social media posts, and when I congratulated them, they hesitantly said, since I'm the biological mother of the baby, my meeting that said baby might hamper their bonding as parental figures, and so they didn't want me to meet him till he's at least 2 years old. Well, they're a kid, and their call, so I never questioned or argued it. Biological parentage doesn't matter here. Exactly. Last week was the baby's 2nd birthday, and they invited me to a party as well. I'm good with kids. It's easy. Just pretend to enjoy whatever game they're playing and laugh along. Pretty much, yeah. They noticed him getting along with me too much and requested I keep some distance from him. I was weirded out, but complied. Yesterday, they texted me that V has some family emergency and needed me to take the baby for 2 days. I agreed, but texted them babysitting rates. As a friend, I would have agreed, but since they never let me interact with the baby and acted weird, I said I'm going to charge them. Now M is all over internet ranting about how it's called parenting and not babysitting when it's your own baby. It is not your baby. I just found out from a friend that the emergency his sister plans to have a lip and cheek fillers, and he wants them to be there to emotionally support her. The emergency is her sister getting fillers. Also, you can't call it parenting because you didn't let her interact with the kid for the first 2 years of its life. Do you not understand how integral those 2 years are? Like, this is a new person to this child that they've never fucking seen before, and you're just gonna drop them on their doorstep? That kid's not gonna like that shit at all. The fuck? Not the asshole, they made you a stranger to the baby, so why would you consider it your child? It's one or the other, guys. The baby doesn't even know you and is not going to like being dumped with a stranger for 2 days. You are not a parent. They've made it very clear that they find you to be a threat to their own bond with the baby and want you at a distance. They chose that and don't get to rant about it when it's convenient to them to have you watch the kid, especially since after those 2 days, you probably won't see the kid again. Only a parent when it's convenient. Yep. If I'm the parent and you want me involved in the child's life as a parent, please let me know so we can get a court-ordered visitation schedule arranged. I'd like 2 weeks of my choice in the summer and alternate Thanksgivings. Because fuck that, they are using you. I think a proposal like that would need to be far more excessively ridiculous to make the point and to make sure they said no. What if they said yes to your proposal because it's not that outlandish? Yeah. I want back visitation for 2 years I missed, then 50-50 custody after that. I want the full summer so I could take the kiddo abroad to stay with my Nana and me. I want every Christmas. I want to be put on the birth certificate. Don't forget to request child support. Yeah. That's a weird situation. Like, I can't believe this person needed to post this. It felt like they needed to ask someone if they were being an ass here. Like, what if these parents told them it just makes me wonder, like, what situation is she in that she thinks she's in the wrong here? Like, some of these ones, like, I understand, like, I'm just asking for clarification. How am I the asshole here? But this one, it doesn't feel very, like, it's very short and very weird. It's very clear cut, yeah. Ooh, CPS. Okay, am I the asshole for making a complaint to CPS? When I married my soon-to-be ex, she had 4 biological children, 15, 13, 11, and 6, and 2 adopted daughters, 11 and 7, from Colombia and South Korea, respectively. We have 1 child, 2 male, in addition to my 2, 11 and 9, from my previous relationship. God, that's a lot of fucking kids. That's 9 fucking kids. Jesus Christ. For my previous relationship, they live with me full-time as their mother doesn't really care much about her custody time. I have known my soon-to-be ex, Sally, bio children every... Why can't people type? It makes these so difficult to read. Especially with the ADHD. It's hard already, but then having them not know how to type. So, she's already an ex? Okay. I wonder if we're going to find out why in the section down here. Her 2 adopted girls live with us as her ex doesn't want anything to do with them, as he has a daughter he has always wanted. Sally lives with her mother's mother-in-law suite for now with all of her children. It's a very confusing paragraph. Sally wants to leave her adopted girls with me as part of the divorce proceedings as she too doesn't want them, as she feels she has a biological daughter and has no need for them anymore. That's fucked up. She is extra adamant that she should not have them as the adoption agency cheated her out of a Hapa child. I don't know what that means. The Korean one is not Eurasian, as she'd hoped, but half Vietnamese and South Korean. Oh. Okay. Weird. I don't want them as I've never been a father figure, and the girls still talk about her ex as their dad despite no contact for so long. I simply can't afford more children than what I already have. I made a report to CPS when she mentioned that she would rehome them if I wouldn't take them. I called CPS on her and they contacted her ex-husband's workplace as he works with children. He is temporary on unpaid leave while being investigated for neglect. Sally will now be investigated too. In the meantime, CPS has custody of her children. My son is with me. She has called me every name under the sun and doesn't understand why I won't take them, as I have space in my house and experience with a girl as I have a daughter too. She says I overreacted and we could have solved this in a different way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She already has 4 fucking children and adopted 2 and then had another one with you. Girlie doesn't need more kids. Girlie needs less kids. Like, what the fuck? Take all them damn kids away. Jesus Christ. Yeah. They adopted the kids and then had a daughter, so they no longer needed or wanted them. Who are these awful people? Kids aren't dogs you rehome. Yeah, I have 4 rescue dogs, and I would never, ever, ever treat my dogs like that. Yeah. CPS is incompetent, but they need to come through here. It's the only option. Absolutely. Rehoming literal children, especially so old, is so disgusting. Like, I don't know how long she's had them for, but one of them is 11 years old. So... adopted children, particularly internationally adopted ones who are rehomed by their adopted parents outside of the system, often end up trafficked and horrifically abused because the parents don't care or understand how to properly vet potential families, and that's beyond the obvious trauma of being told by their parents they are no longer loved or wanted and are being given away to another family. While CPS is far from ideal, at least kids have rights and resources within the legal system. Private rehoming is a good way for them to simply fall off the face of the earth, figuratively speaking. Horror stories are rife. You're right to contact the authorities. Yeah. The Child Exchange? Jesus. Oh, the Reuters series. Okay. Yeah. Everyone's the asshole. 8 kids between the 4 of you, and you decided to bring another one into the mix. These poor kids, you're all crap parents. Kids aren't things you can just get rid of because you finally got the one you want. I agree with that. You had 8 kids already and you decided to have another one. Jesus Christ. I have enough space and money for my kids. I never adopted her kids, but you were their stepfather for 4 years and they lived with you full time. Yeah. All of them need to stop having and adopting kids ASAP. Yeah. Yeah. Very fucked up situation. What? Would I be the asshole? What does this mean? What does WIBTA even mean? I have no idea what this says, but I'm just going to read it as, am I the asshole for not wanting to hang up my daughter's artwork? My daughter, 12, is a very good artist. She recently unveiled something she was working on for a couple of weeks, a portrait of our family, and she wants to hang it in the house. This isn't a picture of stick figures. This is semi-realistic charcoal sketch of me, my husband, our dog, and our cat. But my son and her brother aren't in the picture. My daughter claims she forgot, and there wasn't any room for him in the picture, but I'm very sure she did it on purpose. To explain why I'm sure this was on purpose, I have 2 reasons. First off, the portrait depicts me next to my husband and my daughter between us with the cat on her lap. The dog is next to us. I'm no artist myself, but it's very clear just what my daughter was trying to say. Second, my daughter has always had a very adversarial relationship with my son. She's always tried to get him in trouble, bullied him, and has resented him for existing. My son doesn't do much to aggravate her anymore, at least he used to try to get on her nerves, but stopped during the lockdown. He doesn't go into her room, he doesn't try to take her things, he only reacts to her. Most days, he's never in the same room except for meals. And even when we have meals, he never talks to her. She never says anything to him, but at least they aren't fighting. The picture took her a couple of weeks to do, and this isn't something on an A4 piece of paper. This was done on an 18 by 24 canvas with charcoal. It was pretty clear that a lot of work was put into it, yet she could include our dog and cat, but not her brother. Husband thinks it would be rude to not hang it up, but I'm pretty sure that our son will feel excluded because he wasn't in the picture. Husband says that this is actually improvement since last time our daughter drew our son. It was done to anger him, and this is, of course, raising red flags to me that he considers exclusion to be improvement. Yes, she has used art to demean my son in the past. My son is aware of what my daughter did, but he's trying to put a brave front. He tries to say that my daughter doesn't bother him, but I know he does. What the fuck? What the fuck? How about instead of debating what artwork to put on the wall, you take your children to therapy? Yeah. Don't stop at the children. I think this needs to be a family event. Therapy. The answer is therapy. Absolutely, you should not hang that in a common space in your home. Tell your daughter she can hang it in her room, but that the only family portraits that include the whole family will be just on display. Yeah. All the therapy, please. Maybe book your daughter some counseling. That's some pretty evil shit. Yeah. Do we have more information from OP? Because people are talking about shit. I don't see anything here about that OP has responded to. Yeah, the answer is therapy. That's my answer to this post. Therapy. Okay. Am I the asshole for expecting my husband to cook for us while he is not working? My husband broke his ankle and has had to have surgery. He has a cast for now and crutches to get around the house and has been home less than a week. Normally, we either take turns cooking or cook together when we both get home. But since he'll be home for a number of weeks, I told him he should be covering dinner for us. He said he'd do what he could. The first day, all he made is grilled cheese and soup. All. Bitch, that's a meal. What you complaining for? Stuff like that doesn't really constitute a meal, or he orders takeout. It does constitute a meal. I've eaten soup and grilled cheese as a meal before. What the fuck? Once in a while, it's okay, but it's been like that ever since he's been staying home. Yesterday, I asked him to do something with more sustenance, like a baked dish with a side salad, protein, vegetable sides. My husband argued and said he didn't think he'd be able to do something like that because he's supposed to be staying off his foot as much as possible for the time being, and he brought up being in pain. I totally get the pain, but I reminded him that there were ways to make a good dinner even with a broken ankle. He has his crutches. He could bring in a stool or a rolling chair into the kitchen or get everything to the table and sit to do prep. Instead, he made chili in a slow cooker and has pre-made salads delivered from the store. And what's wrong with that? I wound up making something for myself instead and told him how I was getting fed up with him disregarding my wishes and feelings. He told me I'm being bossy and need to cut him some slack, and he'd go stay with a friend. He's been there a whole day and was short with me, and I've called to get him to talk about this. I don't think I'm asking too much. Apparently the comments are mean. Okay, I get I'm the asshole here and the daughter of Satan. Some of you are protective of your soup and sandwich combo. I just can't stand it because I ate too much of it growing up. I will take today and tomorrow off to apologize to my husband and do something nice for him. I talked to him about having one of our family members come and help me with meal prep. Sincerely thought sitting on a chair was a viable option to be off his foot. Guess I was wrong. I love knowing that the comments have flamed her before I've even finished the post because they've edited it to say, okay, I get it. I'm the asshole. You can shut up now. Yeah, he should be off his foot as much as possible. Also, he made dinner. Man is injured. How much do you expect him to do? It's not safe to sit and cook. God forbid the pot or something falls on him. Or he falls. He's home from work because he's recovering from surgery, but you expect him to stand at the kitchen every night and bring you a multi-course meal. Yeah. Yeah, she's acting like he didn't make anything. He made you chili. He made you soup and grilled cheese. He ordered some salads. Like, what the fuck do you want? Do you know, I would love to come home to that kind of food waiting for me. Like, assuming I went anywhere. Who gives a shit about what you want right now? Your husband had major surgery less than a week ago. A particular surgery that I know can take a person up to 4 months to recover from, so he doesn't need to be on his feet, even with crutches. He needs to be in bed and resting and recovering, not catering to a royally spoiled pain in the ass like you. If anything, it should be the other way around, since he's genuinely hurt and in pain, while you're just a pain. So yeah, you're the asshole. This is an iconic comment. Iconic. Do I have any awards to give? No, I don't. Damn, my free award's gone. Grilled cheese is the best. We know you love grilled cheese. We know. He's in pain while you're just a pain. Iconic. Huh? If he's supposed to keep his feet up, that includes playing maid. In spite of this, he still managed to put food on the table, and you're not pleased with the quality. The surgery occurred a week ago. Give it time. Yeah, it is. It's really funny when people post you're expecting not to get flamed. Your lack of empathy and concern for your husband's recovery is despicable. Do better. Sounds like he needs to find someone better for him, who at least would show the smallest empathy for the situation. Honestly. You're the asshole. Your husband isn't on vacation. He's home because he broke his ankle. Not only that, he had surgery for it, and it's the first week. He needs to be resting with his leg elevated as much as possible right now. Do you know how much energy it takes the body to heal from surgery and broken bones? A lot. And you want him to mess his recovery up because you think he should be cooking dinner? Do you want him to ever be able to walk again? Also, I would not want someone who may be taking strong painkillers in the kitchen where he could hurt himself or start a fire. Yeah. Yesterday, I asked him to do something with more sustenance, like baked dish with a side salad, protein and vegetable sides. You're the asshole. You sound like a princess. And he actually made chili, but ordered stuff for the salad. Did you want him to forage some lettuce and greens from the forest? Catch some salmon at the pier? My husband doesn't cook at all, maybe once every 2 months. Damn, I would love some chili. Honestly. The first day, all he made is a freaking grilled cheese and soup. I knew I was going to say you're the asshole at this quote. Same. I had that all the time growing up. I loved it. It was great. Granted, I don't love grilled cheese as much these days, but grilled cheese and soup is great, especially if you really like vegetable soup. I personally don't, but I've heard that the vegetable soup mixed with the grilled cheese is a better combination than the chicken noodle soup and the grilled cheese, but I prefer chicken noodle soup. So, broken bones are horribly painful. What is wrong with grilled cheese and soup? It's yummy, and he made an effort while hurting. If you don't like it, make your own damn food. Yes. Cooking with a broken ankle and without is different. You should know and be understanding about it. Yeah. Like this, like someone else said earlier, he's not home on vacation, you know. Surely this is a joke or bait post. He has a broken ankle and has still been doing his best to take care of dinner for you. This is the thanks he gets. If I was him and you asked me to take care of dinner so soon after I broke my ankle, I tell you to take care of it yourself and prop my foot up. Yeah, you are in fact the asshole. Surprised it's not been labeled that yet, but it's only 18 hours old, so. Am I the asshole for selling my brother's Pokemon cards and refusing to pay him back? Yes. Yes, you are. Okay, let's read the comments. Let's read the post. My brother, 22, and I, 19, have always been avid Pokemon fans since childhood. Over a decade, we probably amassed an estimate of 1,000 cards. Recently, my brother began moving out of the house, and in the process of helping him, I happened to stumble across his deck of Pokemon cards and began shuffling through them. Now, given recent piqued interest around these cards, I knew there was a potential for genuine value. While peeping around, I happened to stumble across a few recognizably rare cards in pretty good condition. Excellent condition according to PSA standards. I got the card appraised the next day, and their value was estimated at around 4.3 thousand altogether. I ended up selling them for a higher price through a private organized sale with a collector. I eagerly told my brother about the earnings, but he became infuriated. He said I'm the asshole for refusing to give him the full value's worth of the cards. I told him without me they never would have been even seen the light of day. He tried negotiating, giving him a cut of the profits, but he refused to even consider it. Now for the past few days, he's been sulking around the house, refusing to even acknowledge my presence. It's bad timing. My brother's leaving in a few days, and I don't want to end up bad terms with him. Key details, my brother and I are extremely close. It is likely that those cards are both a combination of mine and his. I only request a cut of the payment as I'm the one who put an effort to find the cards and appraise them. I think you're the asshole, and so is he. I think everyone here is the asshole. Because the statement that you collected them together, yeah, they probably did just get lumped together in a pile, so I'm sure some of them in there might have been yours versus his. Oh, wow, the thread has already been locked, and it's only an 8-hour-old post. You're the asshole and a criminal. All of the money is his. What are you doing? You're the asshole. You can't sell other people's belongings, especially without the consent. You should have, like, once you got it appraised, you should have been like, hey, these are appraised for a really high price. We should sell them and split the profits. Like, either you give him the full money, get the cards back, or accept being the asshole and having messed up the relationship with your brother because you're a thief. In the process of helping him, I happened to stumble across his deck of Pokemon cards and began shuffling through them. His deck of Pokemon cards. His. You're the asshole. Yeah. Your update doesn't help your case. You're still an ass. You just made it seem like you're lying to justify selling his cards by saying they're probably both of our cards. They're his cards. I think if he just brought, like, once he got the cards appraised and saw they were worth so much money, if he had just brought them to his brother and said, hey, I got these cards appraised and they're worth a fuck ton of money, we should try to sell them and, like, maybe split the money or something, and then have the conversation before you fucking sold the cards. Like, maybe he wanted to hold on to those. You don't fucking know. Like, yeah, it does sound like a really bad excuse. They were his, not yours. You're a thief. Helping someone move out does not give you right to their property. You got greasy fingerprints all over them. I can understand opening a box to see what's inside, but why would you then rifle through all the cards? Instead of telling him about the cards, your mind immediately turned to personally profiting from his possessions. At no point do you think perhaps you ought to tell your brother about your plan to sell his things before executing it. And, yo, bro, I sold some of your stuff. Look at all the money I made. Here you can have a bit of it. It's kind of shitty. He says I'm the asshole for refusing to give him the full value's worth of his cards. He is correct. I told him without me they never would have seen the light of day. So what? They weren't your cards. You didn't even know whether he'd forgotten about them because you never asked. How generous of you for offering him a portion of the profits from the goods of his you sold and then fenced. At the very least, he deserves the entire sum, and you should additionally pay him compensation. Yes, if only you'd stolen from him a few months ago instead, that would have been so much better. So am I the asshole? It's worse than that. You're a thief. Why should anybody trust you around their possessions? Yeah. Theft. Yeah. Why did you take it upon yourself to sell his belongings? Did he even want to get rid of them? Maybe he was holding on to those rare cards for when they were worth even more. You owe your bro a major apology and 4.3k. Probably more since OP said that's what it was estimated at, and he was able to sell it for more than that. Yeah. I wish I still had my old Pokemon cards. I got rid of them a while ago. It'd probably be worth quite a bit now. I don't know if I had any rare ones, but any level of Pokemon card sells for pretty good money right now. I love that that one's locked already, even after 9 hours. Ooh, here's a 7-hour one that's locked already. Am I the asshole for refusing to choose between my daughters? Husband and I have 2 daughters, 23 and 25. Much to my disappointment, they've never gotten along. Even as kids, they were always fighting, and I always hoped they would grow out of it, but it just never happened. I mean, with them that close in age, it's like, with only a 2-year age difference, it's very either or with those kinds of relationships. Like, my sister and I are 3.5 years apart. We were not close growing up. We still aren't. Versus, like, some siblings can be, like, a year or 2 apart, and they're either really close or they're really not, and there's rarely a middle. Or they're either not close at all as kids, and once they become adults, they become closer. But it's very either or for siblings that are that close in age. I think like a 2 to 5 year age difference, it's very iffy in terms of like how close they're going to be, you know? I'd always hoped they would grow out of it, but it just never happened. I've tried very hard to encourage them to go together, as it was always my wish for them to be best friends and take care of each other when I am gone. Nothing worked, and they seemed bent on hating each other. Some backstory: when Sarah, the 25-year-old, moved out for college, she stopped talking to the 23-year-old Erica entirely. This seemed really harsh to me, and I told her that during this time I grew closer with Erica as she was still at home, and Sarah seemed to want nothing to do with us. We were both hurt by Sarah's actions. When Erica went to college, Sarah seemed to make an effort to get along with her, and I was really excited, but something happened, and Sarah said that Erica was bullying her and blocked her on her phone. Erica told me that Sarah had blocked her, so I texted Sarah demanding to know why. Sarah said that Erica was name-calling and blowing up her phone. I told Sarah she needed to get over it because family is family and you can't just block family for no reason. It doesn't sound like there was no reason. It seemed very immature to me, and I was very annoyed. It doesn't sound like there was no reason for it. It's been about 2 years, and Sarah hasn't had a relationship with Erica since. Every time I see Sarah, I try to remind her that Erica loves her and tell her that about the realities of the situation, that Sarah is successful, and Erica just gets jealous sometimes. Sarah always seems really upset when I bring up Erica, and gets moody. Maybe stay out of your kid's business. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't know where this is going. You sound like an ass here because you're not respecting your kid's space, because they're full grown adults at this point. They can make their own fucking decisions. Yeah, you sound like an ass. Sarah is now getting married. At Sarah's engagement party, to which Erica was not invited, which really disappointed me, I told Sarah that Erica was happy for her, but it was hard for her, having her sister be successful like this. Sarah seemed annoyed and brushed me off. Since the party, I've been trying to get a straight answer from Sarah as to whether Erica is invited to the wedding. I brought it up a few times when Sarah was talking about the wedding, and she ignored me. Eventually, she snapped at me that she hasn't had a relationship with Erica in many years, and she didn't know why you would expect her to be there. I was horrified. In my view, Sarah's childish, vengeful antics have gone too far. You just don't treat family like this. Also, I just want to comment on something in the back here. She moved out for college and kind of stopped talking to everyone. That's really common. That's really common, especially if you're not close to your family. That's really common. Okay. You just don't treat family like this, not inviting them to your wedding. My heart is broken as I want them to take care of each other, and I don't know why they refuse to do so. I want nothing to do with the wedding at this point. I'll attend, but I have no desire to help a daughter who treats family like this. I feel like Sarah is just asking me to pick between her and her sister, and I want nothing to do with it. My husband thinks I might be being a little harsh, but Erica agrees with my decision. With your decision to attend, but not help plan the wedding? That's not your job to help plan the wedding. That's the job of the two people getting married to plan the wedding or hire a wedding planner. So Reddit, am I the asshole for refusing to pick between my daughters by not supporting my oldest's decision to not invite her sister to her wedding? Edit, many people are asking what Erica did to cause Sarah to cut her off. I don't totally know. Sarah just told me that Erica was bullying her. Sarah sent me the screenshots, but that was many years ago, and I don't like getting involved in their fights anyway. It sounds like you do. It sounds like you do. Sarah is apparently also still mad about some things that happened when Erica was 16. A close friend of Sarah's died, and I had to take Sarah to the funeral, causing Erica to miss a sports competition. Erica was really upset and said some terrible things to Sarah, but Erica was only 16 and didn't know better. At 16, you should know better. She had never had a friend die before. Sarah is apparently still mad about that, which I think is evidence of how she can be really resentful. I think you're a terrible parent. I think you're an asshole. I don't know if... I don't think am I the asshole refusing to pick between my daughters? No, you're just an asshole. End of story. I think you're just an asshole. Thread is now locked due to an excess of rule violations. You're the asshole. Blocking family for no reason. She literally gave you a very detailed list of reasons. How come you're always making an excuse for one child and always brushing off all the issues onto the other? Yeah, just because the other one is older doesn't mean everything is their fault. Also, the thing you mentioned about what happened as a kid, really shitty thing to do. Being 16 is not an excuse for that. 16 is plenty old enough to understand that the death of a friend is more important than your sports competition. Also, you have a husband. You mentioned you have a husband. Why couldn't the husband have taken Erica to the sports competition while you took Sarah to the funeral? I think you're a terrible parent. It's so pathetic that OP is playing dumb about not understanding why Sarah hates Erica. There's willful ignorance and there's denial. This is definitely the latter. She says she doesn't want to get involved in their fights, but what she really means is she refused to do her job as a goddamn parent and expected shared DNA to fix all relationship problems. Now that she's reaping what she sowed, she's going all surprised Pikachu face, and it makes me wonder what other problems with the girls might have due to her ill-fitting parenting. Yeah. You've mentioned a lot of times you've encouraged your older daughter to be more respectful. You've mentioned exactly 0 times when you've considered correcting your younger daughter's behavior or expected her to be nice to her sister. Why is that? You also mentioned times when your older daughter has literally told you that her sister is being unkind and demanding and rude to her, and you've used quotation marks for the word bullying, which shows you don't really believe her at all. Why is that? It sounds a lot like you're completely blind to your baby's faults and you blame all the friction on the older one who, quote unquote, should know better. But your younger daughter is persistently bratty and entitled, and you enable this all the way. I wouldn't bet on your older daughter being desperately upset if you decided not to support the wedding. She has no support for you. She has no support from you so far in life, so why would that change now? I told Sarah that Erica was happy for her, but it was hard for her having a sister be successful like this. OP is blaming Sarah for being more successful than Erica. This is a very bizarre take on the situation. Yeah. And don't be surprised when Sarah goes no contact with you. OP, you're the asshole for sure because you pick sides, and by the sounds of it, you do so regularly. Yep. I've got a 5 and 2-year-old that know when they've done wrong to the other and honestly apologize for it. I call out the 2-year-old when she's being mean to her big sister. It's like OP has never thought to do this a day in her life. If you place all the blame solely on the eldest's shoulders and none of it on the youngest, then of course Sarah doesn't want anything to do with Erica. Erica is quite honestly showing unrepentant behavior for literally being an asshole to Sarah up through college, no less. Of course Erica doesn't care. Her mommy taught her she can be wicked to her sister, and her sister will get all the blame. Yeah, like I said, OP is just a shitty parent and is an asshole for that. Assholery. I'm not choosing. No, she definitely made a choice. Yeah. You're the asshole for the false title. You have chosen. You make that absolutely clear in the text as well as your actions. You're the asshole a million times for constantly choosing and being so obtuse as to claim that you have no favorites. Sarah should cut you off and move on. Yeah. Likely her dad is the only reason she tolerates her mom. Potentially, yeah. Sounds like OP will be one of those parents of like, why does she never talk to us anymore? It's like, why the fuck do you think? Huh? Like, why does Sarah never come around anymore? I can't imagine what the reason might be for that. Yeah, everyone agrees in the comments that the OP is the asshole. You do realize that the girls probably resent each other because you've tried to force them to be best friends their entire lives and have constantly trampled their boundaries, right? You're the asshole. Stop your meddling and pot stirring if you really care. OP's post looks like a lazy parent who didn't help her kids learn how to get along and stop the bullying and teach Erica compassion. Major, you're the asshole. After the edit, you've already clearly chosen a child. 16 is way above the age most kids know not to be the most fucking spoiled and entitled person I've ever seen. 16-year-olds can be incredibly entitled and spoiled, of course, but they also are old enough that they should understand what losing someone close to you can do and how to not be an ass about that. They may not understand what it's like to lose someone necessarily, but they should know how to not be a jackass about it, and they should be told at least that it can be really hard for someone to lose someone they care about so close to them. And you should have had a conversation with Erica at that point during that time and disciplined Erica for being a cunt when her older sister lost a best friend. And I genuinely think this is just really bad parenting and that both of these kids need therapy. And hopefully they're both in therapy already. They are around my age, 23 and 25. So hopefully they understand that therapy is helpful and important, and hopefully they're going to it, because God knows their parents didn't do shit for them when they were younger. Yeah. An asshole. What is this? What is with the would I be the asshole? What WIBTA? Why? It's the subreddit is called Am I the Asshole? Not would I be the asshole. Just say Am I the asshole for not serving alcohol at my parents' 50th anniversary party? Just say what the fucking subreddit's called. Goddamn. Okay. Would I be the asshole for not serving alcohol at my parents' 50th anniversary party? I'm throwing a party for my parents' 50th anniversary. They mentioned wanting to have one a few years ago, so I took it upon myself this year to take care of invitations, food, music, decorations, party planning, and paying for it all. The party is this weekend, so I've been prepping for it the whole week. So far, 40 people have RSVP'd. As I mentioned, I'm paying for everything, including food and drinks. My parents have not been super involved with planning since I offered to do all the work. My sister came over today while I was prepping the backyard for the party. I ran her through what I was going to have at the party. She had no problem with food or desserts, but she hated what I had planned for the drinks. I want this to be a dry event. My husband and I don't believe in drinking alcohol, and we don't want to pay for other people to drink. My plan is to just have sodas and water for people. My sister says that people will expect alcohol at an event like this, and it's a backyard party in the afternoon. I don't see how my refusal to buy alcohol will stop people from having a good time. She got really mad when I put my foot down and said the party will flop without social lubricant of alcohol to smooth the way. I don't think you're an asshole, but I think you should have let people know that alcohol would not be being served, so that way people could bring their own alcohol. If you didn't want to pay for their alcohol, you could have just put that in the invite, and just said food and drinks will be served, but alcoholic beverages will not be. Bring your own if you want them. That would have been the correct way to handle this. Just because you and your husband don't believe in drinking doesn't mean everybody the fuck else doesn't. Especially since you're inviting 40 other fucking people. So you should have included on the invite, hey, alcohol won't be served, bring your own alcohol. So it's one thing to not want to pay for it. Yeah, I agree with your sister. It is expected. However, you were throwing a party and paying for it, so you don't have to pay for the drinks. I would suggest making it a BYOB or informing people it'll be dry. My judgment is you're the asshole for insisting on a dry event. It's pretty much as if you were vegan and they weren't and you had a vegan event. It's fine if you don't want to spend your money on meat, but you can't stop other people from bringing it. Not the asshole. If your parents are cool with it, then it's fine, but your sister is still right. To answer one of your questions, people can go 2 hours without food. But it's pretty weird to show up at a barbecue and not be offered food. Kind of the same with alcohol at an anniversary barbecue. Not necessary, but still weird if it isn't there. Definitely bring your own beer, yeah. And OP will be the asshole if you refuse to allow that. Agreed. I'm not a big fan of forcing your own beliefs on others. Your sister is right. People will probably expect some alcohol. Why not tell your sister if she feels strongly about it, she can pay for some beer for a party? That seems reasonable for an afternoon event. That way you and your husband aren't paying for anyone to drink, and sister is happy. Yeah. Yeah, the best answer is to tell anyone who RSVP'd that it's BYOB and not to have the other sister buy it. That frankly makes no sense. If it was going to be a dry event, that should have been on the RSVP, as should BYOB. It's a little too late for that, so they're just going to have to tell everyone. Yeah. Yeah, you're the asshole if you don't inform people that alcohol will not be served. Anniversary parties usually mean making toasts, and toasts require drinks, traditionally alcohol. I don't drink much, and I wouldn't care if it was a dry event, but if I didn't know in advance, I would expect there would be at least a glass or two of wine to cheers the couple. If I know there's no alcohol, I will drive versus spend the money on a taxi round trip or try to figure out public transport. True, I didn't even think about that. As someone who doesn't drink, I didn't think about the fact that people might be expecting to drink, so they will just get a taxi to make the round trip. So that way, if they drink and get drunk, they can still get home and stuff like that. The toast part is important. It's such a big event, so buying like 4 or 5 bottles of champagne or prosecco for at least one toast and then asking people to bring their own booze is a good idea. If the parents were teetotal, I don't know what that means, then I would understand it as a party celebrating them. But if the parents like to have a drink, especially around their own friends and family, then OP isn't really throwing them a proper party. Yeah. This is a great point. I've hired a babysitter and arranged for a ride so I could relax in an event like this. I'd be pretty upset if I paid for nothing and learned that it was a super kid-friendly event after all. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Not the asshole for not wanting to foot the bill. Yes, the asshole for drawing some sort of moral line in the sand at your parents' anniversary. Yeah. BYOB. It's the perfect solution. Not necessarily the asshole, but it's a bit asshole-ish. Teetotalers means people who object to alcohol. Oh, I've never heard that before in my life. Like, object to alcohol just in its entirety, or like abstain from alcohol for themselves? Because it sounds like they object wholeheartedly to just alcohol in general. Oh, that makes sense why I've never fucking heard it before. Okay, I'm going to read one more and then call it a day, since Max is the only person here. Rookie is apparently here, but hasn't said anything. Abstain and are also haunty about it. Okay, it's like a badge of honor. Gross. Am I the asshole for editing my wedding photos to remove the white top my sister-in-law was wearing? This, to me, sounds like you've made your sister-in-law naked, but I know that's probably not what is meant by the title. I got married back in June, and at my wedding, my now sister-in-law was wearing an outfit with a white top and a black bottom part. I didn't say anything to her at the wedding, but going through my photos with the photographer, I felt like they were a bit silly since the top part of her outfit was literally the same color as my wedding dress. In certain photos, it really made her pop out. Since they're my wedding photos, I requested the photographer make the top be grayish instead, if possible. We only edited the ones where she was standing next or near to me, by the way. When my photographer sent me the finalized version, I distributed them to my family members. My sister-in-law got upset and asked why I edited her white top. I said it was because she stood out too much. Sister-in-law requested the original photos with her white top be sent. I contacted my photographer. She said she could send them, but at a cost since they were additional photos. I asked if she could just send the raw over, no processing, etc., but it was still extra, so I told my sister-in-law if she wanted the original, she could give me extra money, and I'll get them for her. This made me upset, even more upset. This made her even more upset, but I thought she dropped the issue. Fast forward some days, and I found out she's talking shit behind my back. I went ahead and texted her why the hell she cares about the white top so much, and she says she looks really good in white, and bought that outfit specifically since she wanted good photos. I was dumbfounded with that comment, so I just didn't reply to her text messages. Then my husband told me the next night that sister-in-law is really upset with me and wants me to respond. She apparently believes I'm insecure for editing the photos. Am I the asshole here? Okay, FAQ. So the outfit she was wearing was a formal jumpsuit. On the day of the wedding, I didn't think her outfit mattered that much, but she really did stand out in the photos. It's partially due to the background we used, the lighting and camera work, etc. I edited 6 photos in total, with 3 of them being the formal guest photos that everyone takes. I did request editing on other guests, but again, just to fix any weirdness due to lighting and background. As far as color goes, no one else wore a lot of white, except some men with button-up shirts. However, the white was often very overshadowed by the color of their suit jackets. I'm going to go with everyone as the asshole, but mostly your sister-in-law. It's not that big of a fucking deal. They're not your fucking wedding photos. You know what I mean? Like, it's not her wedding photos, so why the fuck does she give such a shit? You know what I mean? But also, if you really were, if that was a concern that you had, you maybe should have informed her that, hey, for the photos, could you, like, put a jacket on or something over it? Or, like, do you have, like, a cardigan or something you could put on over the white shirt, just since we're standing next to each other and we're both wearing white, so it doesn't, like, so that there's some better contrast or something like that. And I don't think it's asshole-ish of you if she wants the original photos that she has to pay for them. I think that's fair. I think it's mostly your sister-in-law who's the asshole, but you definitely could have done something to mitigate the situation before it happened. Yeah, just don't have her stand right next to you. Exactly. Let's see what the comments have to say. She looks really good in white. Is your sister-in-law Kelly Kapoor? She wore white to a wedding. She's lucky you were nice about it and just grayed where she's standing next to you. And you were nice enough to let her have the unedited photos if you paid the photographer. Not the asshole, but your sister-in-law sure is. Yeah. This, I'm petty. Her shirt would have been Barney purple or Pepto pink in the edited photos. Who wears white to a wedding? I thought of Kelly too. Sorry I'm late. Just woke up from my 2-hour nap. Oh, well, we're basically done. So Max and I have to go to the shop. So not the asshole. If she wants good portraits, she can pay for her own photographer and photo shoot, not piggyback off of your wedding photos. Yeah, I agree with that. Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law should have known better than to wear white to a wedding, but then again, she actually bought the white top to wear on this occasion, so she's actually the asshole for knowingly trying to stand out on someone else's special day. Someone said, I don't think there's anything wrong with the outfit. I think it's very cute and wouldn't stand out for the most part. That said, where the outfit does pose a problem is that it stands out too much in group photos, as the white pops out against presumably darker colors and makes the photos unbalanced. The sister-in-law is also way out of line for expecting OP to just give her free photos. If she wanted a photo shoot, she should have arranged one for herself with a photographer or with the bride ahead of time. They may have been willing to do a bit of a side deal, as they were already there taking pictures. Agreed. Also, I figured you were probably sleeping, so it's not a big deal. No worries. Everyone knows you, A, don't wear white to a wedding, and B, as a guest, are secondary to the wedded couple, especially in the photos. Send her your photographer's number if she's that hung up on having the originals. You've chosen the ones you want, how you want them. Any other reprints or edits or payments are not your problem. This is terrible advice. That poor photographer does not deserve to have this woman unleashed on her. Sounds like Max is behind. He needs to refresh. I would have just said, weird how your top came out gray in all the pictures, and just kind of shrugged and move on. Not the asshole. You don't wear white to a wedding unless given permission by the bride. Yep. Oh, okay. I was going to go with slightly you're the asshole at the beginning and ask you whether you also photoshopped all the men wearing white shirts and black pants too, or if it was only women not allowed to wear white shirts, as frankly, it's really only a holy white dress that is going to distract from the bride. However, her comment about purposely wearing it because she thinks she looks good in white and went into good photos of herself, combined with the fact that you merely tinted her outfit rather than crop her out, puts it in not the asshole. You made a reasonable compromise on a situation that made you uncomfortable, even if I do think a white shirt isn't the same as a white dress, whereas she was just looking for a freebie. She wants the photos, she can pay for them, that's entirely reasonable. Yep. One hour, 14 minutes in, and Max has been deadlifting the whole stream, chatting with chat. And you, Jimmy, I see life has you doing busy things. Been lurking, by the way, seeing Nico read some crazy shit. Yeah. Jimmy, how's your health? I assume you were sleeping because of health. Also, there are suddenly 6 people here. Hello. Welcome to the end of my stream. Oh wow, this is a short one. Okay. I'm tired of the would I be the asshole. The title of the subreddit is Am I the Asshole? Just say Am I the Asshole? God. Am I the asshole if I turn off the gas before going on vacation? Long story short, my mother-in-law is living with us. She is irresponsible, lazy, and petty. Anytime my wife and I go out to eat without her, date night, personal celebration, etc., we will return to a house reeking of gas because she cooked her own dinner and left the gas on. How she does this, I don't know. The burner is off, but the dial is turned on and gas is flowing. We've discussed the idea she's doing it on purpose to punish us for leaving her alone, but we can't prove it one way or another. My wife and I are leaving town for 2 weeks, and I'm worried we'll return to a pile of ashes or a dead body from gas inhalation. So I'm thinking of just turning the gas off before we leave. Would this be an asshole move? I'm just chatting with, just catching up with sleep from earache and a night where the cat kept me up. Hopefully I should be caught up now, but the heat and humidity make me just want to drop off. Yeah, I figured I'd check up on your ear situation since it's been bothering you all week. Okay, I think you need to kick your mother-in-law out. Why is she living with you? If she's being this much of a burden, kick her out. She's a full-grown adult. Kick her out. Heat? Have you been paying attention to the world, rookie? Because it's very hot up here in the northern hemisphere. Especially Europe. They're suffering over there without their AC. Not the asshole, her behavior is a clear danger to everyone's well-being. That said, this is definitely escalation behavior, and I'd recommend finding some way to resolve the conflict that is less passive-aggressive, as it could exacerbate things down the line. And OP replied, "Thank you, my wife tells me I'm being passive-aggressive as well, but she refuses to let me confront the situation head-on, which for me, at this point, is telling mother-in-law to just get the fuck out." Yeah, that's kind of my view, is just tell her to get the fuck out. Live with my mother-in-law? Never, honestly. Not the asshole, but do talk to her about it, since it has happened more than once. If she does it on purpose, kick her out and or get her mental help. If she doesn't do it on purpose, there might be something wrong, like dementia. OP said, "We've gone the dementia route for this and other reasons. Doc says she's good." Well, then she's just a dumb bitch, and you should kick her out before she burns your house down. Is your water heater electric or gas? Can you just turn off the gas at the stove? Definitely not the asshole, because you don't want the house to blow up. I would demand a psych dementia evaluation when you return if she's going to continue living with you. You should also make sure your house insurance is up to date before you leave. OP said that there is in fact a valve at the stove, so. Africa is natural hot. I don't know what you're talking about, Nico. Jimmy said, "I still have a lack of hearing, but it's gradually coming back every now and then. It hasn't hurt for the last 4 days." Well, at least it doesn't hurt anymore. Still must feel weird not being able to hear out of it, but at least it doesn't hurt anymore. That's good. Yes, exactly. Africa is natural hot, so you're used to it, whereas Europe is not naturally hot. It is usually pretty average temperatures to cold, even during the summer. So it's been a heat wave lately. It's actually reasonable out today, but I think it's mostly because it's been rainy the past few days, so it's only in the 70s out today, which is really nice. It's a good temperature for it to be. There is another way for your mother-in-law to cook: the microwave. Yes, but she eats out most of the time anyway. She only cooks at home when we go on a date nights. Another reason I believe it's on purpose. Oh yeah, absolutely. Then never mind, turn off the gas. Also, if she can afford to eat out, she can afford to pay rent. You can maybe keep her rent and give it back to her for a deposit on her own place. OP says, "My wife's fear is if she pays rent, she'll feel ownership and won't keep her room clean. We tell her every week to clean her room. She's a real slob." You need to have a come to Jesus convo with your wife. Her mother is not your guy's problem. She, the mom, sounds awful. Is wife doing okay mentally? I'd be so depressed if I had to live with my horrible mother. Ugh, I feel for you too. OP said, "No, she's not. She's seeing a therapist, and therapist is also telling her to kick her mom out. But my wife is convinced her mom will die or end up in the streets without her help. She's been patentified? I don't know. But it sounds like you need to kick out your mother-in-law, because it sounds like she's just a terrible housemate in general. 22C used to be considered hot most of the time, but this year 35C is the new normal." Yeah. Does not sound like fun. I think for here in Tennessee, at least, it's not been like obscenely hot to that degree, quite literally. It usually gets pretty warm here during the summer. I don't know if it's been an abnormally hot year for us, but it doesn't feel abnormally hot. It feels the normal amount of hot for us here, at least. But I can only speak for what I've experienced going outside. Whereas I know for a fact Europe is very clearly experiencing some new shit as half your fucking continent is burning down. So, which is not something y'all are equipped to handle with. Same as last year? Okay, cool. How would you know when you go outside? I go outside. Not every day, but I go outside. Also, if you haven't noticed, this room gets very hot or very cold, depending on how hot or cold it is outside, because the AC/heat doesn't really do shit for this room. So, I know how hot it is. I look outside at least once a day. I actually go outside fairly often these days, because we go out to like the movies or to get food or to get groceries. I'm going to go outside today because we got to go get groceries. So, not the asshole. Kick her out. Boom. Okay, let's see what the newest post is. Just now. Ooh. All our grass has been dead for ages. That almost never happens. Oh, come on. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, shit. Okay. Yes. And I will be ending as soon as Max comes in here and tells me it's time to go. So, because we go when Max is done with work. And I don't know when that is supposed to be because Max said 4:30, but I haven't heard from Max yet. So, you know. You know. Am I the asshole for inviting my boyfriend to my house without meeting my roommate's preference? I, 24 female, and my boyfriend, 25 male, Sam, have been dating for almost a year. We're currently working on moving in together. I met Sam just after moving in with my current roommate, 25 female, call her May. May and I never really discussed guest rules before Sam's first visit. Before moving in together, she said she was scared of men and didn't want men in her house. But then it sounds like you did discuss it. It sounds like you did discuss it then. Oh, okay. Yoga?
Yeah, I'm not really, like, doing yoga. I don't really feel like spending a whole half hour, but I just figured I'd do some stretches. So
well, it's been a half an hour,
relax.
So.
Yeah, I didn't get off work right at...
okay.
Right at time. I probably got off at, like, 4:40, so it's only been, like, 15 minutes. I'm fluffing the laundry right now, so if we could fold it before we go to the store, that'd be great.
Probably for the best, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
What?
I did not remember to restart the laundry last night, so...
Good job.
But I checked it. I realized as I came to bed this morning that I hadn't, so I went and checked, and they felt dry. So
That's good.
Plus, I knew we'd be fluffing them anyways, so I wasn't too concerned. Which is why I didn't restart it right before bed, because I didn't want it to like go off while you were trying to work and stuff like that.
I'm just tired. Sorry. Staring at
Inception.
my face. What did you say? Barmax. I don't know what that means.
I've heard Baymax.
I've heard Baymax, but I don't know. I don't know what Barmax means.
No idea.
If it's cool, then go for it. If it makes me cooler than I am, then absolutely.
She said she was scared of men and didn't want men in her house. I said it would be my house too, and since I was dating, it could get messy. She said no reply, so the subject dropped. After moving in, May said she did not want any guests of mine, male or female, excluding family, in the house until she met them at a secondary location first. Not the secondary location. And vice versa. In regard to Sam, May later said she just wanted to see his face and memorize his vehicle. I found this information disturbing. How is that disturbing? It's for her own safety. Sam and I tried to meet her preference out of obligation for almost 2 months. To us, an arranged meeting was strange and unnecessary. Sam had no interest in meeting her or getting interviewed just to stay with me. May was never available and made no effort to aid me in planning the meeting that only she wanted to do. I gave up and waited until I knew she would be home. I had asked her to meet Sam on similar days, and she always said no, and had Sam come over so they could meet at the house. She was obviously flustered, but at this point I was frustrated with her and just happy to finally have Sam over. She was aware he was coming for several days before he arrived and made no effort to reinforce her boundary. She didn't suggest a place to meet instead of the house, and I was too focused on Sam visiting to remember her rule. The meeting went as I expected, awkward but all right. No one really spoke, and May and Sam made no effort to engage in conversation. Since then, May has held a grudge at the meeting that the meeting was not exactly how she wanted. despite her never telling me her schedule or reinforcing her boundaries when she had the chance. She expected me to plan her ideal meeting of my boyfriend without her help. May claims her meeting style was more important than ever since Sam and I had met online, with no regard to how long or serious we'd been dating before we tried to have a sleepover. She feared he would touch her stuff or we would have a fight. Neither ever happened, and reminded me of her bias and irrational fear that she herself has no explanation for. I told her fears were something she needs to work on by herself, and that if Sam has done something to harm me or her, it would have been my responsibility to handle since he was my guest. Since then, I have tried to only invite Sam over when May is not home. I tell her at least 3 days in advance when he is visiting. Since his first visit, Sam has only been to my house twice, more in 5 months. Am I the asshole for not remembering my roommate's boundaries?
You informed her in advance of the day that they would meet.
Yeah.
Even though it was at the house, you informed her in advance. She had time to object.
Yeah.
And she didn't, so clearly her boundaries didn't matter to her either.
Yeah.
So...
Everyone's the asshole. You're the asshole for pretending to have forgotten. The whole point of the visit was that you were fed up of her rule. That said, she's also an asshole for refusing to enable you to meet her ridiculous rules.
I'm okay with it being everyone's the asshole.
You're the asshole. It's not unreasonable to want to meet overnight guests first before inviting them to a shared space. It's kind of weird, though, that you dated someone for a year and they only met your roommate once under super awkward circumstances.
True.
Yeah. NBA Max, is that the big, large walking cartoon thing? Yes. From Big Hero 6. I'm going to go with everyone's the asshole. But mostly...
No, Baymax is cool. I like Baymax. Baymax is dope.
Mostly the roommate. She had plenty of notice and... before he came over, and you had tried to set up meetings before the overnight visit. While I don't agree with just bringing him over regardless, what did she call it? Preference? She made it very difficult to do so. Which... being an emotional support robot sounds dope. You need an emotional support robot.
I do need an emotional support robot. But, like, being someone else's emotionless... Well, not emotionless. Baymax has a lot of emotion.
Yes.
But, like, being someone else's emotional support robot is, like, a goal, you know? That would be great.
Does this make any sense?
Let me see.
I finished typing it, and I reread it, and I was like, I don't know if that makes sense.
Choice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, switch for choice.
If I could fucking type.
Nope, still not.
There we go.
You're missing A. Yeah, that's fine.
Is there a reason you couldn't stay at his place instead? Or couldn't visit? Why
Because you forgot an A.
Oh, yeah. And an O in choice about 6 times, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think she said anything about why she couldn't meet him.
Well, I think that it was was that they probably met at his place several times before, but they wanted to also be able to meet at her place.
Well, if your roommate is irrationally scared of men, there's not much you can do about that.
I mean, who isn't scared of men? And I think any fear of men is
especially someone you've never met before.
But this sounds like a very controlled situation.
Yeah.
So, I don't totally get why they're so pent up about it. I mean, if there's some kind of deep-seated, like, reason for this, the roommate should make it very clear.
Uh-huh.
Like, if the roommate has had a poor experience with a man, you should probably make that known so it's understood why you're being like this.
Yeah.
So does ESH, everyone sucks here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. No.
Did it get deleted? Aw, sad.
Oh, I wanted to read
what
it. What? Interesting. Okay.
The central conflict is about romantic relationships?
Well, she ended it after he said he loved her.
Oh, okay. Okay, I get what's being said.
These are all brand new, so the mods are still dealing with them, so mostly auto mods, but yeah. Ask the mods. Frequently asked questions.
No, it's just ask questions.
Oh, it is just asked. I
Frequently
didn't say
asked
okay.
questions, yes.
Frequently asked questions. Never ending. I am this emotional support robot in this relationship.
Are you?
Yes.
You're not a robot, though.
Closer to being one than you.
I guess the voice serum has gotten to your brain.
I kind of was before too, but more so now.
Yeah.
The boy juice.
I don't like boy juice. Boy serum is okay with me, though. It's like super soldier serum, but it's boy serum.
I wish it were super soldier serum. Goddamn, I take that shit in a second. Can you imagine?
But you're not, like, perfectly good like Captain America was. You just get all roid raged.
And? You know how big my muscles would be?
I would not be able to deal with you if you were roid
And
raged.
have you seen how big my muscles are? Have you seen them? Have you seen how big the muscles become? Worth it. And I am plenty good. I may not be Captain America good, but I'm fine.
I would not live with you if you took the serum, because you would turn into an asshole.
Well, I'm already an asshole, so what's the difference?
You're not an asshole. You know? What are you pointing at? Being on the asshole subreddit? Everyone's a little bit of an asshole, but you're not like an asshole. So.
Exactly. So why would me taking the serum be bad?
Because you would turn into an asshole. And I'm not about that.
I would just be a super soldier with a bit of the tism.
Not the tism. Red Skull took the super soldier serum and turned into Red Skull.
Because he was evil before he took the serum.
I'm still not about to live with Red Skull. I don't know what to
I'm
say.
not going to turn into Red Skull, though. I'm not evil. He was evil before the serum. Whereas Captain America let himself get beat in the ass every fucking 12 seconds.
So you're saying you would be the happy medium between
Yes.
Red Skull and Captain America?
Yes.
I'm still not living with that.
I'm not evil.
Still not living with that.
Important question. Does the super serum give you a cock? I would imagine not, since there is a Captain Carter, and I assume she did not receive a penis from the super soldier serum. So.
Correct. Asshole times 2.
I only have one asshole, thank you. Just like everyone else. I've only got one. I am hungry. Can't imagine why I'm hungry, but...
Can we at least fold the laundry and then cook? And then buy groceries, or...
No, we will need to buy groceries first. If we cook and eat, I'm not going to want to leave the house after that, so...
Okay. Well, you just said you're hungry now, so...
I am hungry now, but I'll survive.
Okay.
Just enhances what's there. Exactly. Doesn't mean I'd have an ass. I finally have an ass, Max.
There's no ass there. There's nothing to enhance. You can't enhance nothing.
I have some of an ass.
By 0 is still 0.
I have some ass. It's just not much ass. I have some now. Although lately I've noticed that just 20 minutes on the toilet my ass falls asleep, so that's not...
So you don't have enough of an ass.
I guess. I don't know why that's suddenly become an issue. It was an issue back when I was underweight, obviously, because sitting on anything for too long and my ass would fall asleep. But like... But Captain America didn't have an ass before he took the serum, and look at that. Now he's got America's ass.
Yeah, he got dump truck.
Yeah. So why can't I get one?
Like, Chris Evans' ass makes me question my sexuality.
It helps that he's not bad looking either, so.
It's a brief question, and the question is always no. But, like, the answer is always no. But there's a question.
I love that you're a concurrent viewer on the app, but you're also sitting here viewing me in real life.
I'm probably not counting because it's muted, but like,
weird.
Yes. I'm still getting channel points. You should name your channel points.
Name them what?
I don't know, just name them something.
Like what?
I don't know. Pick a name.
I don't have a name.
I don't know.
I don't have a brand, Max. You can't name them until you have a brand.
I mean, Doug's are labeled actual US dollars. Like, I scrolled down to see what they were called, and like to where you have like the options where you can buy stuff with the money, and you just like scroll all the way down, and it says like how to earn insert name of channel points here, and his says how to earn actual US dollars.
I could call mine actual Canadian dollars.
Actual Canadian dollars, but you're not Canadian.
And?
So it's not relevant.
And?
What could you name them? I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
Real, actual, legitimate, totally for real, actually true money. Monopoly money.
You could name them Monopoly money. That would be fun. How to earn Monopoly money. Yeah.
Pineapple scales.
Pineapple what?
Scales.
I mean, better to just call them pineapples at that point.
Yeah. Welcome to random. Yes, we are not doing it on the asshole anymore because I'm stalling.
You're stalling.
How long has the laundry been fluffing?
Probably at least 20 minutes, so it's ready. It's ready, because we need to fold the laundry. We also need to pack today. I mean, I guess you don't need to pack today, but I need to pack today.
I can pack tomorrow because I'm not streaming.
But I'll only have an hour between when I get off work and when
You
I
have to leave.
need to leave. So.
I'll probably just sleep till we leave.
I mean, I guess you could, but that would make it difficult for you to fall asleep at a normal time.
I already struggle to fall asleep at a normal time.
I know, but you're going to have to wake up at a normal time.
I need to take the bottle of melatonin with me so I can take like 6 when I go to bed.
Yeah, because you're going to need to wake up at a normal time on Friday and Saturday because I want to get to the amusement park when it opens.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Because even with the fast passes, if we're going on the Saturday before school starts, it's going to be fucking crazy. So the earlier we get there, the better.
My stomach is grumbling at me.
Then we better hurry up.
Shopping while hungry may not be my best plan, but I can.
No, it's a bad plan.
But eating first will mean I won't want to go shop, and we need to go buy stuff.
Or I can just force you to go shopping.
Do we need to buy groceries?
I don't know.
Oh, we need stuff for the tacos.
What do we need? Oh, we need tortillas. But we could literally So I guess we need to shop before we make food because we need to make the tortillas today because the meat is a day over.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't think there's anything we need to buy.
Just the tortillas.
Yeah, before we leave. So.
Yeah. And the sour cream. And the garlic.
Do we still need to buy more of that?
It's all over, so.
But it's all been refrigerated.
Yeah.
And we still have the sour cream and the.
Yeah. We haven't gotten sick yet, and it doesn't smell off yet.
No.
Saving money.
Mm-hmm.
Living better.
Take a small snack with you, then you're already out. Yeah. Do we even have anything that's small snack material that's not chips?
We should buy some.
I could eat a couple pickles.
Probably. You have pickles?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you not eat your pickles yesterday?
No, I just have a jar of pickles in the fridge.
Oh, I didn't realize you had one because you keep buying the pouches of pickles.
Yes, because I like the pouches better. They're thicker, crunchier.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
The ones I have in the jar are almost burger pickles, so like the little ones you get on like McDonald's burgers. They're also kind of old, so they might actually be outdated, but they're pickles, so they last a long time, so probably not.
The pickles don't expire.
No.
That's not how. I mean, if pickles expire, they did it wrong.
They did the pickling wrong.
Yes, because pickling things is supposed to make them last forever. So.
And with that, yawn. That will be it for this week. I will see you all on Monday for something. Maybe the quarry. We might do the quarry on Monday. But I might stream tonight. I probably won't, but I might. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see y'all next week. And goodbye.